Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Kingsport. We've been away for a long time, so let's see what's happened while we were gone. I have reunited most of the Kingsport Drama Society, plus our special guest star. I'm going to go and introduce them. Those three of you that watch this channel, I think all of whom are in this call, will, of course, recognize most of them, but please, a warm welcome back because she could not make the last little gig we threw. My longtime friend, co-creator, someone who's been intimately involved with this practically from the beginning, Serafina, who's playing Wendy Fairchild, our unicorn.
Hey, I'm Serafina, pronounced she and her, playing Wendy, also she, her. Wendy is an orphaned child. I chose Our Last Hope as her moniker. And she has arrived at Kingsport with the last of sort of her family money, and is living on in a boarding house on the edge of town, so that she can attend the academy.
Are you the last of the Fairchilds?
Yeah, I am.
Oh my god. Wait a minute. I've seen this movie.
It was my favorite movie growing up, and I just want to recreate it, but in a weird way.
I believe the very first time you made an appearance here, you said that you were going just here to make things weird. So, next, please let's welcome Daryl, who has been here from almost the beginning as well, and who's brought yet another chapter in the ongoing Greenwood saga of depravity and excess. So, Daryl, who's playing Phoebe Greenwood, our Serpentine.
Hello, hello. I'm Daryl. My pronouns are he, him, and as said, I'm playing Phoebe Greenwood. Also, welcome to my seasonal attempt to play an ice character. I'm sure it will go according to plan. So Phoebe is the Serpentine with a sleek and skittish look, darting eyes, and comes from old money. And basically, for those who are following along with the Greenwood saga, because I know the Greenwoods have their fans, the family is currently down this generation. Sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down. This time they're down. Not terribly down for once, but stuck in Greenwood Prep, the academy that is going to be the center stage for us this time around. And basically, as a Serpentine, there's a lot of family responsibility to carry on the Greenwood name and do the family good and honor. So Mommy and Daddy think that I need to go to Miskatonic University, find myself a respectable husband, and be a good lady of the community and bring us back to our former glory. But I just want to live a glamorous, jazzy flapper lifestyle and have a good time. I'm sure that I'll get exactly what I want, one way or the other. It's fine.
Louis Armstrong and champagne is no way to spend a weekend. Next up, what can I say about Leandro? Except he's going to play a sad girl. Because I think, Leandro, you're going to have to correct me, but I believe you've played a sad girl in every single game we've run. But
Yeah.
you're playing Agnes Murphy, our witch.
Yeah, I mean, come on. How can a witch be sad? Like, come on. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to try to find a way. But like you said, the witch starts with a baseline of looking for revenge. Anyway, hi, name's Leandro. Use he, him pronouns. As mentioned, I'm playing Agnes Murphy. Who, for anyone who is bothering to keep track of the Kingsport lore, yes, I have shown up to every single Kingsport game with at least a sad girl with the same initials, not necessarily connected to each other. That's just the case. Even Kingsport games not run by Cat. That's a different story altogether. We'll talk about it some other time. But yeah, Agnes Murphy is the witch, which means she has witchy powers. She is resolutely middle class, in that her parents are like shopkeepers. Her dad, Martin runs a shop called Murphy's Goods. Martin Murphy, because he's adorable. But Agnes kind of grew up wanting to be weird and wild, but her parents were quite stuffy and were all about abstinence and They were at the start of the whole temperance thing, so they were ahead of the prohibition in that regard. So Agnes kind of grew up with like this reputation of having really stuck-up parents, especially for their class, which is like they're shopkeepers. Why are they so high hoity-toity? So Agnes kind of grew up with like a chip on her shoulder until she went digging and found her mother's journals and found that, oh, when she was her age, she dabbled in something deep and twisted in the woods. She did stuff. And so, because Agnes's origin is avid reader, she did more digging and found that, yeah, all kinds of that weird, wild nonsense that her mother was against. Well, they're all kind of true, every black dripping bit of it. So Agnes is going to take all those bits and make herself dazzling with all that. So, yeah, good luck to her with that.
It's going to be fine. And with that, the first pitch of the Kingsport season has begun. By the way, some of you may have seen me play in Rich's baseball game hack, and I resolutely want one day to adapt that to be 1890s baseball and just do it as a Kingsport set. So, the Kingsport Kingfishers. Let me welcome to Kingsport for the first time, I believe, someone that I have probably played more games with than any other human being on this planet. And one of the few people who consistently gets to GM me. So please, let's welcome Lisa, who's playing. Yeah, this is the Russia game all over again. Vrijeme Zdani. Our Cerberus.
Lisa Paddle, she, her pronouns. Vrijeme is an angular boy who showed up one day in Kingsport and is apparently a member of the Greenwoods family who has never been around, doesn't look anything like any of the other Greenwoods. But that's what the head of the Greenwood family says, and who am I to say he's wrong?
Okay, and my name is Kat. She, her. My gender is spinster. Years ago, I had this as an idea that came out of a game I was running at a meetup, and here we are. This is what, Kingsport, like 11, I think. I don't know. I can't even keep track of it anymore. But this particular one is set in 1927. In 1927, prohibition is still the law of the land, even though it is oft observed in the breach. Babe Ruth hit 60 home runs this year. All of Boston is sad about that. And as a matter of fact, as this game begins, the World Series is taking place in New York. And it's the Yankees. So, what else about New England in 1927? Kingsport is kind of still in its doldrum period. Years ago, they were great shipbuilders, but they could not compete when iron-hulled steamships became the norm. So the town is still broke because the cannery has not yet been built. So it's a quiet, sleepy little town with a bunch of old families that go all the way back to colonial days, and some that go further. And in the middle of this, the Greenwood family decided, in some misguided act of altruism, apparently, or some ulterior motive of which we're not aware, to endow a preparatory academy. And you are all seniors at this preparatory academy, which is imaginatively named Greenwood Preparatory Academy. I mean, I guess I could have come up with some kind of more crazy New England name, but Miskatonic probably has actual feeder schools because in this parallel universe, Miskatonic is supposed to basically be an Ivy. So I'm sure there's an actual prep school for Miskatonic, but most of the Greenwood prep seniors who want to end up going to Miskatonic. So yeah, what we need to do is backstory now, and we don't have any mandated order because nobody's playing Immortal. So who wants to do their backstory first?
I can go first.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, and of course, as I volunteered, I did not copy that from my sheet when I put it all in the keeper. Cool. Backstory. You've been watching someone, trying to learn from them what it means to be human. Gain 2 strings on them. Okay, well, none of you are very human. I'm going to choose Wendy. Wendy seems to be the one who is the most,
Not a monster.
yeah. I was looking for a nice way to say that so that I wouldn't insult the others. But yeah. Wendy, I am looking to you to teach me how to be a human. So
Wise.
that means gain 2 strings on them. So.
This will not haunt her in the slightest.
No, not at all. It's going to be fine. Wait, which her?
Okay, now let's dos.
Both hers. Great. Going super well. Nothing bad. Everything good.
And then, so the other one is your family seeks to control your every move, and they will not be denied. The head of your family gains 2 strings on you. Now, I'm actually totally fine if the head of the family is not necessarily the man of the house. So I'm going to leave that to Kat to decide who's the one who really tells the Greenwoods what to do. Is that Philip Greenwood or Cordelia Greenwood, who technically married into the family, but whatever.
Is Cordelia from Dunwich or Dunwich adjacent regions?
Oh no, Cordelia Cartwright has been here since the beginning.
Wait. Yeah, I'm losing my lore. Which one was a Cartwright?
There were a couple of Cartwrights in our 1692 game, so.
Yeah, there were.
Oh God.
There's
And I
I
actually just listened to that the other a couple.
So there was Enoch Cartwright, who was the ultra-religious dissenter, and then there's Rachel Cartwright, who had a moment with Mercy.
A moment with Mercy.
I mean, a lot of people had moments with Mercy.
It's the nice way I said it. It's much more explicit in the character keeper.
Interesting. So a real. Oh man, I don't know which one is better.
You can ruminate on that. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna think about that. And what? They get 2 strings on you?
I think it's just 1.
Okay,
Let me double check
good.
that. Nope, 2 strings. Yep.
Cool. It's Cordelia. We'll just go start with all the cliches. We're just gonna go straight there.
Do it.
Do it. Well, Wendy, you volunteered, so you get to go now.
All right. So my first one is someone wants to take something from you. Ask them what, and gain a string on each other. Anybody interested? Wanting to take something from the unicorn? Looking at you, witch.
I mean, there's a lot of things I want to take. The question is, what do you got to give?
She doesn't have a lot, but one of the ways that I did describe her is people have everybody in Kingsport is weird, but she's weird in a really benevolent way, and people seem to trust and like her.
They prefer the term weirdo Americans. Thank you.
So that could be you want to catch some of the gleam.
Yeah, some of that weirdo magic, kind of like your attention, but more concrete.
Yeah.
Because that sounds neat to be able to do that.
What was your character's first name again?
Agnes.
Agnes. Cool. And then the other one is someone's in love with you and has told you about their feelings. Gain 2 strings on them. So sad. Who wants to be in love with the unicorn?
Tale as old as time.
Yeah. Lisa's in. Sweet.
Who's in?
Lisa.
No, that seemed to be the one that made the most sense. Okie dokie.
How did that happen? Do we want to do that sort of like in game, or do we want to like as like a flashback, or do you want to flesh it out now?
I mean, really, you would just have had to be nice to the weirdo. That would probably have done it, and you probably exude niceness.
It's true.
Maybe you're helping me with English class because all these verb tenses people use confuse me.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm painting her as a straight up Disney princess, like planting a little garden outside of the boarding
Oh my
house.
god.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
It's
oh
real.
wow.
Making little dolls for the neighborhood kids. Like she's
Oh wow.
I'm so into her. So that's probably like maybe we like met outside the boarding house and I was like, I can help you with verb tenses. It's no problem. I'm into it. Yay. Cool. That's me. Finished.
Okay. Do we want to do Vrijeme now?
There we are. Yeah, someone managed to slip past me, a damned and wicked soul hiding among the pure. You've tracked them down, gained 2 strings on them. Well, damned isn't the way I'd put it. It's more, they don't belong now.
It's totally proper to make an NPC if you want. So.
Well, how do folks feel about that? Because I can go either way on that. Am I tangenting too much outside the group if I make it an NPC? Am I doing too much us versus them?
I mean, I think it could be cool if there's like an us versus them, as long as it's one person. You know, like, if it's us all like joined together against this one malevolent thing. I don't know how Daryl and Leandro feel about it, but I'm okay with that. As long as somebody else doesn't have other feelings. Feel free to contradict me.
I think I'm okay with it. I just want to avoid like the Buffyism like of it.
Yeah.
So like I would assume that
Yeah.
like maybe it's like a more sympathetic character who is this like tainted thing or something, like not just like, you know, an outright baddie.
Yeah.
Yeah, because also this is the only string connection in my backstory.
Oh yeah, I
The
forgot
one
about
is
that.
to give me a condition.
I mean, do you wanna put it on a PC? Because we can also do that.
I can take it if you want to.
Oh,
Sure.
Christ.
Sure. Somehow you just don't belong now.
That's your judgment, and I don't give a damn about your judgment.
Agnes, were you doing temporal magic again?
Agnes.
It's just called sneaking over the border to get some booze. Come on. Temporal magic is just elevating it.
That's one way to beat curfew.
One way to beat curfew. Jesus.
Also, Agnes could be quite correct. My character is not omniscient, just focused.
That's fair. Cool. And what's the condition you're going to take?
Well, I could lean into it and go with weirdo.
Okay. I am okay with that. And finally, Agnes. I remember the witch vaguely. I know you got something from somebody.
Yeah, I got 2 things.
Right.
I start with 2 tokens. I think I will take something of Wendy's. Let's get this started. You said you have what, dolls?
I like make stuff. Like, of course, she sews. So like, she makes like dolls and she knits and she's that kind of lady.
Lady. I'll take a scarf then. A knitting scarf. It's really nice. It's like purple. And I think
I find out you've taken it, I'm just gonna be like, is it warm enough?
Well, it could be warmer. giving you a look. Okay, and the other one, I think, because the second question, which is like someone caught me, is an antagonism one, and I'm gonna renew my rivalry with the Greenwood. So the second thing I've taken is gonna be from Vrijeme. What kind of stuff do you have? Do you have much stuff?
What you got?
You're muted, Lisa.
It should probably be something weird. Some kind of homing device, or at least I think it'll help point out something that I believe will help me point to chronal instabilities. You know, where you get the 17th dimensional blip that shouldn't be there.
I'm down for it just being a doohickey.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what should it look like. I mean, should it just be like a shiny, glowy thing, or should it be really weird?
Maybe something, I know it's something small, so like I can just like take it, but like once you like see it, it's noticeable. Maybe something, that's up to you.
One of those yeah,
something like this?
that. Like a timepiece looking thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I should be noting these down. I just realized.
Yes, you should.
There.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take a weird time globe from Vrijeme. And the last question is: one of the others caught you rummaging through their friend's stuff, but hasn't said anything. They get a string on you. It must be a popular girl, Phoebe. It must have some number of friends. Not that I'm interested in the Greenwoods, because they're old family. Jesus, who cares about them? So I wasn't rummaging through your stuff. Do I know you caught me? Otherwise, I mean, the string means that you still have it because you know. But would I've seen you see me?
I mean, if the string exists, you probably know.
Sorry, there's a screen shenanigans happening there. What do you think, Daryl?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear any of that. I was very distracted.
See, we couldn't do this in Google Hangouts, you know? Or could we? I was asking, like, if I know that you know, basically. Did I catch me?
Oh, did I catch you stealing Vriema's shining trapezohedron thing? I know. I don't think you know. So I'm like, but like I'm also suspicious of Vrijeme anyway. So perhaps we might bury the hatchet, as it were, Leandro. We'll see.
Bury the hatchet. That never lasts long between us and Kingsport. Come on.
In each other.
Yeah, you only got to do well. It was a knife, not a hatchet, and I didn't get to reciprocate. But anyway, old tales.
Phoebe Greenwood gave her father 20 hacks. Simultaneous face palms. Excellent. All right.
It only has to be one hack, just going back to that second over and over. 20 is excessive.
Oh my God. It begins. Remember, Kat, you wanted to do this. You thought this would be a good idea. Okay. So we should do homeroom. And I'm going to do something slightly different because I'm going to ask a group question so anybody can answer right off the bat. The deceased current freshman at Miskatonic University who graduated last year, H. Philip Liebknecht, where did he sit?
Teacher's pet, right in front of the teacher.
Yeah, I was going to say the opposite. Teacher's pet, though. I'm down.
Okay, that works for everyone. H. Philip, you get the prestigious strike through because you're dead. Okay, so who's the most popular girl in school? Now, hold on a second there, Miss Thing. I think it's either Wendy or Phoebe, but I'm not sure which one.
Okay, so one of us really likes to party and has, some access to booze, and then the other one's a killjoy, let's be honest.
I think killjoy is an inappropriate way to describe me. I spread joy everywhere I go.
Exactly! See? I have proven my point.
You kind of have, yes.
Have you eaten yet this morning? Do you want a muffin? I have muffins.
It is not a mathematical proof. I do not see the logic there. You cannot get from I spread joy to killjoy like that. There is no path.
It's definitely Phoebe.
I ask you, Vrijeme, if the headmaster ever told you to stand in the corner, what would you do?
Probably stand in the corner.
Okay. Okay. Well, Phoebes, tell me where you sit.
Phoebe sits in I've never had a character do this. She sits in the very back next to the window. Because she's not the the one who excels this time. So yeah, she just doesn't want to be, maybe not actually by the window, because I like the idea that there will be people on either side of me. So second from the left.
That is excellent. Is this already bold? It is. Let me slap something on here. I'll work on that in a minute. Okie dokie. So that's a good thing to ask. Yes. So who is your connection for Hooch, Rotgut, Bathtub Gin, and where do they sit?
Ooh, you know what? It is a dashing young ne'er-do-well. I'm just going to throw back a lot. So his name is Thomas Wood, and his family is kind of well off. Definitely has the connections more than the actual clout. And but he's just so roguish, and you're muted.
Please tell me that his family are tailors.
Yes, they are. I've heard they make excellent shirts.
Where does Tommy sit?
He sits to my right.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Tommy Wood just because that just seems even worse. So this is fantastic. So Wendy, what friend did you catch Tommy selling booze to before you admonished both of them that it was against the law? And where do they sit?
It was Eliza Pennyweather, and I was very disappointed because her father is the preacher's brother. And if you ask me, she should know better. And she sits second from the front all the way on the left.
Second from the front on the left, all the way on the left. Eliza Penny Feather? Penny what?
Weather.
Oh, okay. Okie dokie. And she is the minister's daughter or
Niece.
niece. Okay. Let me get some of these in here. When you say minister, what denomination? Is it esoteric?
I just know he's a minister. No one has specified to me.
Okay. So we have plenty of room there.
Plenty of room. My family's beliefs are somewhat outside the norm, so I don't go to the traditional church services.
Yeah, you're Unitarians.
Well, in a way.
Um, Agnes, what who did Eliza admonish you in front of, and where do they sit?
Of course, Eliza would.
Oh, also uh both you and Wendy put your own seats down. I forgot to ask that. I'm a little rusty.
Oh yeah, I sit right behind Eliza because my parents forced me to try and be friends with her a lot. I mean, because they're well, they like their religion, I guess. If that's okay, unless Wendy, you want to sit right behind Eliza. um, yeah, so I think I was admonished in front of I don't want to make them like some kind of mayor's son, or at least someone who's like um, someone whose family's in the municipality. My mind is not made for callbacks tonight.
That's okay. Not everything has to be a callback.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
Not everything.
Any weather's not a callback to anything.
Yeah, it's
Make
not.
things up. You're doing great.
Yeah, my mind is blanking for names. I know it's a he.
Andrew, Jonathan, Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew Hunter. There we go. That is technically a callback.
It is technically a callback, but not a huge one. Where does
not a
Andrew
huge one.
sit?
I think Andrew sits near the front where he can be seen, not by the teacher, but by everyone else. Over here, next to poor deceased Philip. Yeah. So I Agnes gets the feeling that Eliza admonished her in front of, and very specifically in front of Andrew, for petty reasons that I don't need to care about. Oh, teenage nonsense. I'm beyond that.
Vrijeme, what have you observed about Andrew that you don't think anyone else has observed?
Which one's Andrew, the hooch person?
No, Andrew is the one that Agnes was admonished in front of by Eliza Pennyweather.
Mayor's son.
Yeah, he's the mayor's son.
Something that no one else has noticed. He's not as solid as the others.
Thank you. That was appropriately weird.
Sure.
First off, where do you sit?
Let me take a look at the seating chart. Wendy is where?
Yeah, where is Wendy? Wendy, put yourself in a seat. Butts in seats, young lady.
Running. I think Wendy sits behind Agnes and next to Phoebe.
Oh no.
Okay, and if I'm seeing Andrew, then I'm probably right behind Andrew. Okay, let me see if I can put my name there. There. Wait, why did it un-orange?
Don't worry about it. I'll fix it.
Okay, thanks.
Damn.
Why didn't you pick up the... That's weird. Anyway, it's just because it's highlighted. Let's not worry about it. Who did you tell this to, and how did they react? And also, where did they sit?
Who did I tell it to? Jonathan, and I need a last name. Let's see. Last name census generator. Okay. Random name generator. All right. just a surname. Jonathan Lansford, Lansford. Jonathan Lansford sits on my right. And how did he react when I said Andrew wasn't entirely solid? He said that I was right because Andrew runs a gambling ring. I don't think he understood what I meant, though.
Okay. Who's the? I'm going to toss this out to the table as an open question. Who's the best athlete, and where do they sit?
I think it's got to be Calvin Fleming.
Oh my God, that's such a good name.
That is a perfect name.
And
Does he wear a shirt?
I mean, it is required for official games, but he does practice in the fields late at night sometimes. And but Calvin Fleming sits. I think he sits between Vrijeme and Tommy.
Okay. Calvin Fleming. What sports is he?
Sorry, what?
What sports does he do, or is it just all of them?
All of them. I mean, like pick a season and he's specializing in something. He's one of those people who just seems to make time somehow. I'm sure that won't bother anybody except those of us who don't perform as well. But
another open question. Who's going to be valedictorian? And if it's an NPC, tell me where they sit.
Valedictorian's the first one or the second one?
First one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or if it's a PC, let me know that too.
I'm torn between saying it's going to be me or saying that it's going to be somebody else.
I don't think I'm
Could
going
it
to be
be down
valedictorian.
between? Could it be between Wendy and someone else? Like,
yeah, I like that. Like maybe Wendy and like someone else is competing for it. Like,
Oh yeah, like I showed up and I threw off the curve, and now this person is very upset.
Her name
I'm
is
down.
Marjorie Pie.
Marjorie Pie.
Yeah.
I'm totally down. Put her in the front right by the door.
It's Pie, Pye.
oh, okay. That's a good New England name. Very 1692.
So down. Especially since Wendy is not going to acknowledge this rivalry at all.
Okay. Phoebe, I know you're going to say you, but if you couldn't say you, who throws the best parties? Where do they sit?
well, I suppose that Doreen Woolridge has been known to host an acceptable party.
Where does Doreen sit?
Doreen has to, of course, sit right in front of me, where I am fairly positive she has heard me talking about events that I was planning and then decided to steal my ideas.
I have a question. How exactly do you throw these events, given that your parents won't let you?
Well, I mean, Daddy and Mummy are very strict, but also are very early to bed, early to rise kind of people. And so, as long as I make sure that the janitorial staff receives a little extra every once in a while, they clean up the gymnasium for me.
Take a string on Doreen, and she will take a string on you. Wendy, take a string on Eliza.
That sounds great.
I feel like you get each other.
Yeah. Oh wait, Eliza or Marjorie? Eliza's the one that I chewed out.
Both.
Cool, great.
But now that you remind me, I'm gonna give Marjorie a couple on you because she's more pissed about it than you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This looks like a homeroom. Because let's remember,
Stairs!
the nice thing about Monster Hearts is subtext becomes text, so we can explore dark and monstrousness. Or as I wrote in that article I did about Kingsport, horror may be the best lens to examine American history. So, it's a nice Friday afternoon at Greenwood Preparatory Academy. So it's New England in October. It's only a little foggy and misty. And Doreen, patently ignoring Phoebe, turns to Wendy and says, "Wendy, darling, you simply must come to the party we're having tomorrow night. It's simply everybody's going to be there."
What sort of party is it?
Oh, it's just an intimate little affair. Just me and some very close friends.
How could it
We'll listen
be
to some music. There'll be
And-
punch.
But Doreen, how could it be intimate and yet everyone's gonna be there?
I have a lot of friends.
But intimate requires it to be a smaller.
Hey, logic class was 4th period, Wendy.
But I don't understand.
Wow. Are you going to come or what?
I mean, Wendy does the math in her head. It would be rude to refuse, but this makes me uncomfortable. Sure, I'll come.
Oh my God, you're an Asimov robot, aren't you?
This is why we get along so well.
A unicorn may not harm a human being or through an action allow a human being to come. Okay.
Can I bring a friend?
Who?
I don't know. I have a lot of friends.
Well, I mean, they might already be there because I know simply everybody. Still, completely ignoring Phoebe.
Phoebe, would you want to come?
Oh, I'm sorry. What were we talking about? Looks up from her notebook as if she couldn't care less.
I know you try not to eavesdrop, but Doreen was having a party tonight and asked if I would come, and I asked if I could bring a friend, and then I thought, well, I think you're my friend, so I thought maybe you might want to come with me.
Oh, well, Wendy, I mean, that is so sweet, but dear Wendy, I think you've forgotten that we were going to a very intimate little gathering of our own this evening.
Oh my goodness, did I forget? Did you invite me? I'm so sorry. Did I say I'd bring something?
Oh, no, it's fine. I'm sure that you just forgot to pencil it into your pocketbook.
That's probably true. I am notorious for forgetting things and getting distracted.
So I'm just, I am so sorry, Doreen, but there's a very intimate little thing that's just, just very close friends. And I'm sure that we would love to have attended, but I really can't say no to this small little group. It's been so hard to get them all together.
I mean, it's absolutely the case that if it's your party, it is definitely going to just be a little intimate affair.
Oh, yes, of course. You know how it is with the founding families.
Oh, the founding families. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, just tell me when I need to roll to attempt to shut her down.
That would be fine.
Let's see. All right, that is that's a 10.
You're actually cold?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, how could a Greenwood not have some cold, right? Okay, on a 10, you won't get a condition back. What are you going to inflict upon them?
I want to find the exact way to cut to the bone on this one. What's that?
Common?
It's more like you know what? No, average. Yeah. So pedestrian. That's right.
basic.
If this was 2020, yes.
It is 2020, so.
Boy,
All
I have
right.
10 losses here. We're simultaneously here 100 years ago.
Average. Okay, that was for Doreen. Poor Doreen. Average. I don't think she can have a response. She just goes, stands up, does the hair toss and grabs a couple of her friends and leaves.
Phoebe, if you need me to bring something, just let me know.
Oh, yes. Well, as a matter of fact, we need to bring guests.
Oh, you haven't filled the guest list?
No, it's a rather short notice actually. It was very very quickly put together at the kind of the last minute. You know how it is.
So who should I invite?
Well, I'm trying to think about like who would be like the kind of like founding family like people that we'd want to invite. I mean, the Woods have been here for ages, but of course Tommy will come to any party that I ask him to.
And I think the Pembletons are still doing okay by this point. They've fallen off, but they're still around.
Okay. So I think I say it's like, do you happen to know Emily Pembleton? Wait.
Millie. Oh, is she that sweet girl with the bob haircut?
Yes. It frames her face rather well. It was much better than her previous haircut.
Yes. We know each other in passing, but she seems very sweet.
Well, make sure to ask her if she would like to come to a very intimate little gathering tonight at the gymnasium. There will be beverages and a small assortment of snacks. And I have just gotten myself the newest jazz record that I can't wait to show everyone.
When you say beverages,
Yes.
do you mean water?
I was thinking something a bit more lively. Fizzy water.
Me.
Wendy? Oh,
I can't come to a party if there's going to be alcohol. People should never break the law.
I mean, it is not illegal to have alcohol in Canada.
We are in New England.
That is only one of many facts that exist in this argument, Wendy. I mean, if we are going to have a good time and we're going to invite all of the founding family members, and more importantly, we're going to make sure that Doreen knows that she can't out-party me, then it needs to be the most spectacular little soiree that we can put together.
Phoebe.
Isn't it legal to have alcohol that you already had? It's just illegal to get new alcohol, right?
Hasn't been, I feel like prohibition's been on for like years at this point.
8 years.
Yeah.
Yes,
For 7 years. 7 years.
By like 1927, I feel like oh yes, this was just laying around in the old wine cellar.
Phoebe, are you throwing this party just to get back at her?
It's not to get back at her, Wendy. It is the best defense is a classic offense. And I know that it seemed like she was being nice when she invited you, but truly, you must have seen that that was a ploy just to attack me.
It was mathematically improper. I mean, Wendy, you were quite right. You cannot have an intimate gathering with a huge crowd.
Agnes, what are you doing while they're having this conversation? Because you sit right in that corner.
Aside from quietly losing it.
I'm staring so hard at my book, trying to like not be a part of this. This is a lot of who cares? So she's kind of like just hunched down, reading. Not really reading. It's that kind of reading where the words are not imparting, just to like.
I'm totally going to draw her in a second.
Oh yeah, I know. They're trying to like cover your ears and it doesn't help.
Because I think I reach across the space between my desk and Phoebe's desk and like take her by the hand and say, you have to stop measuring your wealth by the way other people see you.
If I can't measure by the way other people see me, then what standard of measurement is there?
How you see yourself.
Like, a single point of reference isn't going to tell me anything.
Agnes, isn't Phoebe just the most beautiful and kind?
By the way, Wendy, roll plus hot.
I was waiting for you to make me.
I was trying to get in.
Sorry. I roll a 9.
So your call there, Phoebe, string or one of the reactions?
I'll take a reaction, please.
It's Phoebe's call.
Oh, it's Phoebe's call. I thought you said me.
No.
As far as the reaction go, it would be terrible to promise something that I think you want, but I would know it would be a lie from the start, which was to wait. I think that's what I'll do. It's like, Wendy, okay. How about I start judging my own worth by myself after I throw a wonderful party that everyone will be talking about for a week, and then Doreen is miserable.
Promise.
I promise.
She like holds her hand out to shake your hand.
It's like, oh, like the gentlemen do. Oh, all right. And like grips it like very daintily, like the kind of like, like clutch. Gives it like a little shake and then lets go.
Great.
Agnes six further into the book thinking she's escaped the conversation.
Well, now that that's settled, I will be very happy to see you and you and Nellie at the party this evening. And Vrijeme, I'm going to need help in getting everything together. And I'm going to also need to track down Tommy and talk to him. And I think I get up and like shuffle away and go do things unless Vrijeme wants to banter on with me.
I think I might be able to find some older drink that might make everybody feel more comfortable about it.
Yes, if there's something laying around that might have a bit of a kick to it, I'm sure that will be just what we need.
So, Wendy, I don't know that you know where Millie Pembleton hangs out, but Agnes, you sure as hell do.
I say I love Millie. She's great.
And she hangs out at the soda shop after her, because she's in the public school. So she hangs out there every afternoon. It's a drugstore, really, but they have a soda fountain there.
Of course.
But how to convey that information, and will you convey that information? I don't know. Let's find out.
Yeah, there's like because Agnes is gonna slip further back into her torpor and her infinite boredom. As Wendy like tried to like bring her back in, or actually just gonna keep slouching further and further.
I think like after the conversation dies down, there's like a quiet moment, and I like lean forward in my seat and I say, Agnes.
What? Well, Wendy, if you want an answer to my question, I'd say that Phoebe Greenwood is well within her own right to figure out her own estimation of whether she's beautiful or not.
No, I wasn't going to ask about that. Okay. I was going to apologize for sort of putting you on the spot.
You don't have to apologize for that. I can
handle. I feel uncomfortable.
There are many ways to make me feel uncomfortable. Putting me in conversation with Greenwood isn't one of them. Don't worry about it.
Well, I just
well, aren't you uncomfortable all the time being out of now?
You seem so shy, and I didn't want to. I'm sorry.
I think like it just gives the both of you like a look and it's like, I'm not. I it seemed like I was shy and uncomfortable. Did I just project that for everyone to see?
Oh no, I didn't mean. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I've totally messed up.
Well,
Apologies.
yes, it's obvious that you're not now.
Okay.
Yummy.
Vrijeme, that is a very unkind thing to say about her clothing. Just because she doesn't want to dress in the latest fashions doesn't mean you should tease her about it. Agnes, I apologize. My cousin is still new to the ways of New England.
Yeah, he certainly seems new to a lot of things. No, that's fine.
There's
It's
nothing wrong
fine.
with the clothing. The clothing is now.
What are you talking about? That dress is like at least 3 years old.
Suffocating. I'm gonna try to run away.
Are you really going to try and run away?
There's 3 of them surrounding me. And with all this conflicting talk, yes, I'm gonna try that. Even though my volatile is not the best. It's
Consider it a
arguably
chance to learn something about yourself and gain experience.
Yeah, I think like what it looks like is like Agnes will like try to stand up and will just go say something like, "Now, as much as I'd like to be barraged by a multitude of opinions, I actually know where Millie Pembleton is going to be this afternoon, and I'm going to join her. And all right, I'm gonna roll this. I forgot Roller Party does that teasing thing now, where the dice is one thing and changes to another. But that's a 7.
7. Excellent. Which choice do you want?
Let me look at these moves. Jeez, it's been a while.
You run into something worse, cause a big scene, or leave something behind.
Ooh.
Those are all good for you.
Yeah, they're all really good. I think it's a bit early to run into something worse. So I think I'll leave something behind, and that's the book I was reading, which is no ordinary book.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think like in my like need to like just vamonos out of here. You'll see that it's a journal I've been keeping, but there's some really interesting like design work going on in there.
Trying to decide if it's more fun for Wendy or Phoebe to have it.
Well, Vrijeme will reach for it. Whether Vrijeme will get it's another question.
I'm just going to say that Phoebe probably doesn't care. It's like, oh, whatever. So if Wendy wanted to, if Wendy wanted to just be like very kind and be like, oh, your book, and
yeah. That's toast a Wendy thing.
what? Oh wait, I want to. It's like the moment where like both Wendy and Vrijeme like place hands on the book.
Yeah.
I can't now. Now I can't decide if it's keep your cool or turn someone on.
Tell me what I'm rolling, and I'll roll.
Do you want? So you're trying to take the book? How serious about it are you?
Well, I'm trying to find out about Agnes's winding up in the wrong now, so I'm serious.
Roll plus cold.
Okay, what is my cold again? That will be in this tab.
It's +1.
Oh, thanks. So that's a total of 9.
Oh, no, 9. Okay. All right, my faithful hound. This will totally work, but only if you rewind time 2 seconds.
Well, I have to. This is part of my job.
Okay. So, Wendy, you're reaching for the book, and Vrijeme just has it already. You're like,
Interesting. And I think she just sits back down and is kind of like glancing over at Vrijeme, like, especially because you're like across the room from where her desk is.
Yeah, I kind of am, aren't I?
You're kind of like 2 desks away.
So, Agnes,
Yep.
you get down to the soda shop, and parked outside the soda shop, much to your surprise, is a late model like a 1927 model Duesenberg touring car with a African American chauffeur kind of leaning against it, reading the paper. And from the soda shop is blaring jazz music.
Right. I think
None of these are normal occurrences.
yeah. But I think like Agnes is like, yeah, I think she should just kind of like make a make a face at the loud noises that that are happening. This is not turning out her day, but it's still a soda shop. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Does she see Millie inside as she walks in?
Yeah, but I mean, eventually you register her presence. In the middle of the room, dancing by herself, is this incredibly glamorous looking woman. She's got her hair cut in the perfect bob. She's her cloche hat's tossed on a chair. She's wearing a short flapper dress. She has multiple strings of pearls whipping around as she Lindy hops her way across the floor. And she looks up at you and says, "Ain't Louis Armstrong like the best? He's like the bee's knees."
I'm sure he's the cat's pajamas. As I'm circling around, that's the extent of my 20s slang. As like I'm just skirting around this. I'm assuming this woman has a lot of presence, and I'm trying to skirt around it.
Like all the kids are like just staring at her. They're just they can't believe this this alien from planet Rich just dropped in their place. She like she grabs your hand, thrusts a cup of coffee into it, says, "Take it. It's a little pick me up, if you know what I mean."
Well, I'd hazard to say I do. You're not from around here, are you?
No, honey, I wouldn't be from a place like this.
Oh, well, that's good for that can only be good news for you then. I would hate to be from a place like this, to be honest. Did I get your name?
It's Chloe Bonton, hon.
Hi, Agnes Murphy. Nice to meet you.
I'm sure I'll remember that.
It's no skin off my bone if you don't. You're not here for any reason, are you, Miss Bonton?
Oh, I'm just breezing through on my way up to do a tour of New England with friends of mine. We're just, going to places. They're like, I don't know, antiquarians or something. They like to look at all the old architecture and go to libraries and things. I don't know, but it's fun. It's a living. I mean, it's not a living for me. My daddy got rich on the stock market, but it's like a living for most people.
It doesn't sound like it's your kind of fun, Miss Bonton, if you don't mind me saying.
It has its moments. It's okay. I got money to burn. Why not, help out some people? We have interesting times. We meet lots of interesting people. Let me tell you that.
Well, I hope Kingsport doesn't disappoint you, ma'am. Come
on, drink up your coffee. It's Irish. It's Irish as a Boston bishop.
But I should watch something. But I think Agnes is like just. I think it's getting to her a bit. This is a lot, so she will take a sip of that coffee. It's like, all right, okay, cool. The sooner I do whatever this who's a what's it wants, the sooner I do it, the better. So I'll take a sip.
Real good Irish whiskey imported from Canada. Probably imported from Canada.
Well, that's frightfully zesty, Miss Bonton.
Ain't it just?
What time of the day is it?
It's like 3:00 in the afternoon.
Jesus. Yeah, Agnes will take another sip. Yeah, caffeine really gives you kind of quite a kick these days.
I don't even notice the caffeine. I'm up constantly. I'm a real night owl. I just got up. I mean, I know I don't look it, but I just got up and did my face, and we drove up here from where were we? I think we were Beverly or Salem, one of those places.
One of those places, exactly. You're not sticking around for a
Well, I
long
don't
time,
know.
but
It's gonna depend what my friend the professor wants to do.
you're friends with the professor.
Yeah, he teaches at Miskatonic University.
Oh, trying to think like in universe, does MU have any uh strange kind of like connotations, or is it just is it just
I mean,
a nice university?
it's most people think of it as a really nice ivy, but yes, it's sort of like everybody thinks Yale is a nice school that has a secret society that literally meets on the bones of a dead person. So,
Yeah, I think
except
I,
at MU, that's like turned up to 10.
oh yeah, not just a dead person, but well, who knows if it's even dead. Agnes takes another sip because she's feeling emboldened. It's just now I might be presuming quite a bit, but you don't strike me as someone who'd be friends with a professor unless it's a really it's a really hard rocking professor.
Oh, well, I was a co-ed for a while at Miskatonic. It didn't really work out. It wasn't really what I wanted to do with my life, but I was there for a while. Daddy wanted me to go.
And at one point, did you say no to Daddy?
It wasn't so much I said no as they said go.
Well, you're a lucky one, Miss Benton. I wish my dad would tell me to go. I'd happily go, but go wherever, whenever. But, and takes another sip of this coffee. Mighty fine coffee we got there, Miss Benton.
Whose fantastic car is that outside?
Oh, it's mine, honey. I'm sorry we had to drive the Duesenberg up here. I wanted to take the Bugatti, but it wouldn't fit everybody.
Oh my God. It's like one of those things where like every step she takes closer to you is like, oh my goodness, you are beautiful.
Oh, thanks. I like your uniform there. It's very plaid.
Oh, yeah. I just got out of class. Of course, I should have changed before coming out. Oh, yes. Who are you?
Who am I? My name's Chloe Bonton.
Well, Chloe Bonton. If you're not doing anything this evening, I am having a very exclusive little get together this evening.
Exclusive. Is it going to be booze or what?
Of course.
Okay, that's better.
And by exclusive, I mean, of course, just some of the pretty young things of the town's founding family members will be there.
She's maybe 3 years older than you, but she's like, I don't know, all these small town high school girls.
Wendy comes in from outside at this moment looking like windblown and perfect. Phoebe, I'm sorry it took me a minute to get inside. I had to tie up my bike. Who's your new friend?
Oh, Wendy. And you just see like stricken look, like, oh no, Wendy's gonna destroy this. It's like, Wendy, this is Chloe Bonton. She's just rolled into town. Oh, and Millie's right over there. If you could go talk to her about what we.
I walk right up to Chloe and extend my hand very gracefully, like with more poise than you've ever really seen me have, because code switching. She extends her hand and says, Wendy Fairchild, what a delight to make your acquaintance.
She grabs your hand and pumps it hard. And goes, Chloe Bonton, likewise, I'm sure.
Well, aren't you just the bee's knees? Gorgeous.
Oh, this whole thing, I just tossed it on. I mean, this is my traveling dress.
It's a gorgeous traveling dress.
Oh, thanks. You're just too kind, honey.
Are you staying in town?
Yeah, it looks like for a couple days. Do you know a good bed and breakfast or a hotel or some? I mean, they got something like that here, right?
The Central Hotel's really nice.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll give that. Wait, where's the Central Hotel? Because the only
It's
hotel I passed was this real dump downtown.
Oh, yes, that's the boarding
Uh,
house.
oh, well, oh no, the boarding house that's for the boys. They're gonna go stay there.
That makes sense. Listen, if you want a tour or anything, or you want to meet some of the locals, just let me know.
She looks like she doesn't want to say something. Then she like goes, no, you're right. Yeah, I should actually take a little tour with a native. That would be great.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Hey,
Listen,
you want a cup of coffee?
oh, sure. I just have to go speak to my friend Millie quickly, and then I'll be right back, and we can go take a little tour.
Yeah, take your time, honey. She slugs down a huge glass, takes a huge gulp of coffee.
She like disappears in like a little floral bouquet of perfume.
Phoebe just looks on in like disbelief because you have never done that in front of me before. I'm like, but then I like try to turn back. It's like, yes. Wendy is going to be at my little get together this evening, so
You
I
can
take
tell
it.
she comes from quality.
Indeed, yes. Well, if you're going to be with Wendy, then I assume that I will see you this evening.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Where is this? You got like a townhouse or something?
Oh, well, we think it's rather quaint to sneak into the auditorium at the school and party and have a little shindig on the stage of the theater.
Quaint, she says. Okay, yeah, sure. No, I'm game for it. We did stuff like that at MU. You got a Victrola, right?
Of course.
You
Oh,
got
and I
some records to play, right?
indeed I do. I just picked up the new Hoagie Carmichael.
Ooh, I like Hoagie. I got to meet him once in New York.
Wow, I'm. You can tell that she's trying really hard not to be starstruck right now. It's like, oh, I heard he's a delight.
He's all right.
It's like, well, yes, I will be going now to see about those arrangements, and I like
Oh, you
kind of
need
like,
me to bring something? Like, I don't know, like something to eat or a case of champagne or something?
oh, I think that, and I'm like, there's a definite like a case of champagne. That would be the perfect thing to put Doreen in her place. It's like, oh, well, if you have a preferred champagne, of course, I would be happy if you would provide that.
Yeah.
We want you to be comfortable.
Yeah, I'll see what I can get sent up, Pickings might be a little slim here, but I'll have Fergus, my man out there. He can, he's got connections.
Of course he does, yes. A fantastic car, by the way.
Oh, thanks. I like it. It's not as much fun to drive as the Bugatti.
It's like the second time she's heard that line, and I'm just like, and she's just like, okay. And I don't even know if I have to roll runaway at this point because I'm trying, like, I've gotten slowly like further and further back each time.
I mean, it might be amusing to roll it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's just see what happens.
And then I'm going to cut back to Vrijeme in a second.
I would say Agnes has positioned herself next to Chloe and is just watching Phoebe, and she's still taking sips of coffee. It's just like, oh my god.
So I rolled a 10, and that brings it down to a 9 with my -1. So I'm going to choose, honestly, I want to run into something worse.
Okay. Okay. We're stick a pin in that, but I know who it is. So Vrijeme, so you probably live in the boarding house too, right?
I live wherever Phoebe's head of family told me I live, I guess.
Yeah, it turns out Cordelia didn't want you in the house. So
I can't imagine why.
so you're sitting in your tiny little closet of a room in the boarding house with, the clothes that you now are told are not of now. Dig deeper. I need to know how that move
basically, I roll gaze into the abyss and add 1 to my roll. On a 10 up, The owner of the character will tell you a secret, and you can choose to give them a condition to reflect what you learned.
I see. So you are going to you're going to spy on Agnes, basically, huh?
Yeah, basically, I'm reading Agnes's journal.
Okay.
So I rolled a 12 on 2 dice, and that would be a 15 total. Yeah.
Wow, you're
Um,
dark.
I can't help it.
So
It's in my nature.
Agnes, tell Vrijeme a secret.
Yeah, so Agnes's plans. She wasn't lying to Chloe when she said that she wanted to get out of this humdrum town, and she's doing that by building a portal. So that's her plan.
Okay. So I need a condition that reflects that.
I should specify it's more like a spell to create a portal, not like a mad scientist kind of portal. Hence all the diagrams in the journal that Vrijeme picked up.
Right. As there is no one word that means performing the darkest arts, I think we'll just go with caught out.
Fantastic. So Vrijeme, while you're reading this, you're bustled down in the courtyard, and when you look out the window, there's an old man, a younger man in his early 20s, and then a guy who's maybe in his early 30s, carrying a suitcase and a guitar case for some reason. And they're getting in, and he's saying to the old man, like, I don't know why we gotta stay in the freaking boarding house.
Right. I'm supposed to be practicing human manners, aren't I?
Yes.
I'll open the door for them.
Professor's like, hello, my good man. This is the McCree boarding house, isn't it?
Yes. Do you need help with your luggage?
I've been told that there are rooms available here.
I will point them to whoever deals with that, since I'm quite sure that's not me.
No, that would be Moira McCree. They get into a short discussion, and so these guys end up taking a couple rooms in the back of the house. So the old man, like, pardon me, young man. Do you know where the Greenwood Preparatory Academy is?
Yes.
Excellent. Could I trouble you for the directions? I'm supposed to be giving a lecture series there starting tomorrow. I thought I would find the route, perhaps talk with the headmaster.
Oh, yes. I will attempt to give directions a human will follow. Feel free to make me roll on that one.
Yeah, roll to keep your cool.
Okay, so that's +1. I roll a 7.
Okay, there is no way that you're not going to come off weird in this unless you just like shut up and walk away.
I'm going to come off weird.
Okay. So finally, after a while, the young guy comes down. He's like, he helps translate you to the professor. It's like, yeah, sorry, my uncle doesn't always know what's going on. I'm Finn, by the way.
Vrijeme.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm Vrijeme.
Okay.
You can call me Vri for short.
So
this is another sentence he was taught.
The professor practically pounces on you like, that name, is that Romanian, perhaps Romani origin?
No.
Well, dear boy, do tell me the origin of that name. It's fascinating.
Okay, so it's Bosnian as of 2020, but I don't know what that would be in 1920s.
You could say Bosnian. It's an ethno name.
So. Bosnian.
Oh, fascinating. I really do need to study more of my South Slav. Oh, forgive me. It's a profession. It's a professional weakness. I'm a professor of comparative philology.
Oh, words. I'm better with numbers.
Ah, numbers have always eluded me. Their sheer beauty. But I have been
Yes.
working very diligently on the algebra and trying to better my understanding of non-Euclidean geometry. Actually,
Well,
a
once you get
fascinating
past
subject.
5 dimensions, it starts to get a little easier.
My dear sir, I almost feel I should engage you as my tutor. How
I
about
can
that,
try.
Finn? Finn's just like, yes, Uncle Dabney, sure.
I can try.
Well, I mean, I would invite you to come to my lecture at the Greenwood Academy. Perhaps I could speak with the professors, the headmaster there, and see if I could have you drop in as as some kind of visiting student or auditing a class or something.
I attend Greenwood.
Oh, oh, my dear boy, you must forgive me. I've committed a terrible faux pas.
No, it's my words. I'm probably several courses behind in the languages from where you teach.
Of course, because you grew up speaking Bosnian. It's completely unrelated. It's not a Germanic language at all. And by this point, the other guy, who's he's kind of grizzled and tough looking. He carries himself with a little bit of a military air, so he probably saw service in the war. Comes walking down. He's like, "Professor, why are you talking to these weirdos? We got business to do."
I think we're going to be helping each other with each other's business.
Okay, you guys go find some grub. I'll catch up in a second. So they leave, and he's just looking at you like, "I got my eye on you, kid."
Okay, I say. Um, do you play with the rule that one doesn't have to be trying in character to turn someone on to roll hot?
I mean, what are you doing that would be sensual?
Um, I'm looking him up and down to indicate that I also have my eye on him. This is what one does, right?
Let's roll.
Sure. My hot sucks, by the way.
Then this will be entertaining.
4!
So he looks at you very cautiously, like, "You need to know something. I got a nose for weird. You, my friend, stink of it.
Okay.
Go watch you, and don't you come near the professor."
But I'm supposed to go to his lecture and help him with his math. Do you want to be there too?
You heard what I said. And if you got a problem with that, and he just opens his jacket and he's got an Army 45 stuck in a shoulder holster. See you around, kid.
Well, that won't stop me, but that's not today's problem. Today's problem is I have to bend time a little so I can help Phoebe get the booze she wants. You don't have to do that right now. I'm just letting you know.
So, speaking of Phoebe, as you get out of there and you're racing down the street, and then suddenly that shadow of that cold feeling washes over you, and you stop just in time to avoid crashing into your mother, who's holding a couple of shopping bags.
Mumsy!
Phoebe Felicia Greenwood, what are you doing running around the streets like this?
Running away from a very, very flustering woman.
You could not make less sense if you actively tried to, girl.
Mumsy, look. And I point down the street, and there's like the very new car like on the street outside of the soda shop, and say, there's someone who's come into town, and she's quite the sight.
That's some foreign trash model. I don't understand why anybody needs anything better than a good Ford.
Be that as it may, Oh, here, let me help you. And she takes a couple of the bags from
Now,
Cordelia.
Phoebe, it's short notice, but I'm afraid I must demand that you not only come to dinner tonight and be prepared to entertain afterwards, but you be on your absolute best behavior and best appearance. We have a very important guest coming for dinner tonight. He's a professor at Miskatonic University.
Oh, but Mummy, I was supposed to meet my study group. We have an exam tomorrow.
There'll be none of that. This is important to the academy. It's family business.
Are you pulling one of my strings?
I think I kind of am, yeah. Just a little bit.
She the bags just kind of sag, and so do her shoulders, and she's like, well, all right, but I really must study tonight, so I shall only stay for the main course, and I will not be taking coffee after.
I expect you to play some Chopin, and when you're done, you may leave.
But Mommy, I hate Chopin. It makes my fingers all muscular.
If you want to make a good alliance, you will act like a lady in the fine tradition of your family.
Of course, Mother.
That shout from the woods is Fortune Greenwood wondering how her descendants went so wrong. Okay. So I guess Agnes and Wendy are still in the soda shop, huh?
Yeah, I think Agnes is it's pretty much downed all the coffee, and she's kind of feeling the effects, so she's being a bit more brazen. So she's just turns to Chloe and she's like, so that's Fairchild and Greenwood. Lovely people, I assume. I think I'm classmates with them, but they're all right sometimes, most of the time. Sometimes.
Greenwood,
Both
is that
times.
like that school downtown that we passed? Are they like some kind of big family here or something?
Well, they'd like to be, but sometimes they think they are, sometimes they are. Most of the time, they're not. But again, they have a school, so who am I to judge? I don't have my name on a school.
Yeah.
But,
What about this Fairchild lady?
she's the loveliest creature in existence, and I don't say that lightly, Miss Bonton. You've talked to her. What do you think of her?
She's definitely quality. I mean, she seems nice. A little, unworldly.
Yes, you've definitely seen more of the world than her. You're not planning Are you planning on coming to Greenwood's party?
I mean,
Miss Bonton?
I guess so. I mean, I wouldn't mind getting tying one on a little bit, and dancing a bit. I mean, there's gonna be some older boys. I'm not gonna be robbing the cradle or nothing, am I?
Well, I'm sure Greenwood will provide. But well, I just want to say that there's more to see in Kingsport than whatever shindig Greenwood's throwing around.
I hear all kinds of weird things about the towns in this area, like, the haunted. You ever seen anything weird like that?
Miss Bonton, not only have I seen something weird, I promise you I guarantee you that I can show you something weird.
Go on, you. Show me something weird, like what?
Well,
You gotta do a little card trick, make a coin come out of my ear or something? Or are you more like a Harry Houdini type? Should we go throw you in the river and see if you can come back out?
God, I kind of want to do this here now. I was going to try to get her to go somewhere more private. I think Agnes will kind of scoff it off and just say, "Oh, please, Houdini. He's he's a showman. He's stage actor. I said I'll show you something weird, Miss Bonton. Not something that not something just for anyone. Something for you.
For me, well, I mean, you barely even know me, except for the, way my sparkling wit tends to envelop the room in its warm embrace.
Oh, so you are aware of that. I was wondering if it was just an unconscious thing.
Hey, you know what they say, it ain't bragging if you can do it, baby.
Well, I tend to follow the same philosophy, Miss Bonton. I wouldn't say that I can't show you what I said I can if I can't. She hiccuped a bit because she is plastered. But the thing is, it's not just for any eyes. It's kind of just, if you really want to be sure, we could go somewhere where, less variables, less people to, just to show you I'm on the up and up.
Oh, this is so conspiratorial. This is like the time I was sneaking around in the steam tunnels with my best girlfriend when we were at Miskatonic.
Like Agnes' eyes light up. They're like, "Ooh, they have steam tunnels there. I should check that out."
Yeah, you shouldn't go down in there. They're dangerous. They're dangerous for a reason.
Well, I'm not going to say that what I want to show you isn't dangerous as well for any other reason, but I just thought that you could dance any night, Miss Bonton, but you ain't seeing what I can show you any other night.
Oh, okay. So where are we going to go then? And she leans in very close.
I think Agnes leans closer. And she says, maybe someplace we won't be disturbed.
Oh, you know a place like that?
Miss Bonton, I have the... Sorry, I'm trying to figure out the sentence in my head. Miss Bonton, I know Kingsport like the back of my hand, and I know more than one place.
Roll plus hot, please.
Yeah, we gotta roll this. Okay. What is my hot? It's a +1. Okay. That's an 8.
I'm gonna give you a string on her.
Take it. She seems like a lovely person. Why wouldn't I want a string on her?
Well, then where should we meet? Because I gotta go get some grub. I mean, yeah. At this point, I've drunk so much this afternoon. I'm gonna have to practically eat a blada or something.
Yeah, I think that's when the booze gets Agnes and is also feels hungry. So it's like, makes sense. You've been traveling, right, Miss Bonton? We'll meet at traveling well, obviously. This is me wishing I had opened up that drive folder with all those nice locations. It can't just be that graveyard again. But then again, do I want to spirit away Chloe Bonton from poor Phoebe's party, or is that party's going to be?
If you really want seclusion, there's always Kingsport Head.
Nothing bad ever happens at Kingsport Head.
Not that anybody remembers.
Yeah, not at this time. I think Agnes will just kind of like smile and just kind of say like, there's this lovely little spot at Kingsport Head. Well, ooh. I shan't make you go, Miss Bonton. After all, Greenwood did invite you to a nice little soiree, but well, I'll definitely be there tonight, whether you're there or not. But,
oh, I think you can count on me being there, honey. You made this very, very mysterious. I got, a head for this kind of thing, I kind of think, sometimes I wonder, maybe it'd be better if I, wanted the world and, I don't know, just became like a traveler or something. Maybe I missed my calling. I should have been one of them lady reporters,
Spontan, it's not too late.
maybe.
Besides, that sounds like a wonderful proposition. I can't see why you wouldn't say no to going around. I think she tries to go take another drink and realize the coffee's empty. The coffee cup.
Just between you and me, I knew this one reporter was actually a lady. Just wrote with a man's name. So, I guess it could be done.
I think Agnes is just like, I think the whiskey's getting to her. She's like proper nodding. And it's like,
yeah, of course she's dead now, so maybe it's not such a great idea.
Well, she lived, didn't she? She still did what she did. You can still do what she did.
Oh, yeah. The professor says the Romans used to say something like that, live for today or whatever. I don't know. He said it in Latin. I knew in one ear out the other.
Your professor sounds like a wonderful chap.
Yeah. He's going to be, he came into town to give some lectures at that school.
Well, I guess I'll get to see him then. Is it Greenwood as well?
Oh, you go there? Huh.
Yeah.
Ain't that a kick? I guess all you girls who came by, you're all wearing the same uniform.
Well, this is kind of our spot. Nod towards where Wendy and Millie are. Because, get to anywhere, you got to go through Greenwood, apparently.
I'll keep that in mind. I got to go find some place to stay and maybe see if there's any place I can get a decent meal in this town. I hate to have to drive all the way back to Boston or something. Yeah, it was really nice meeting you, Agnes. I'm looking forward to whatever you're going to show me tonight.
Looking forward to it as well, Miss Bonton. I'll see you in a bit.
So,
could I add one last bit to that end? I think Agnes is just kind of like slide to like a booth, still quite drunk, goes to her school bag and is like, all right, I'm a bit woozy. I need to like concentrate and stuff. And that's when she'll realize the notebook's missing.
Nice. So we can rewind time slightly to get Millie and Wendy in.
Oh, I'm down.
Yeah, so you slide in there still holding that mug of coffee. Millie's reading a book, and as soon as she sees you sit down, she closes it like right away. Like,
is her name Millicent?
Yeah, Millicent Templeton.
Millicent, darling, what are you reading?
It's a religious tract. It's for church.
Oh, well, that's lovely. Studying the scripture in your spare time.
Yeah. Well, it's important. Because our spiritual life changes a lot when we get older.
That's very true. She goes to take a sip of the coffee, smells it, and then has a whole moment of, it is rude to refuse a thing, but also this has alcohol in it, and that's against the rules. And it's so that it's kind of like, anyway.
It was like, are you going to drink that?
No.
She grabs it, pours a little salt in it, and drinks some of it.
It's got, someone gave it to me. I think it might have spirits in it.
I can drink a lot of spirits without it bothering me.
Oh.
It's a Pembleton family thing. We have very strong constitutions.
Fairchilds do as well, but it's against the rules, so. I wanted to find out if you were occupied this evening.
Well, I mean, no, church is on Wednesday, and we usually have free time on Friday.
Lovely. So Phoebe Greenwood is having a small get-together and wanted to find out if you would want to come.
Are they going to be boys?
I suppose so. They usually are around wherever one goes, are they not?
I mean, are there going to be boys? I want to just show up and there's a bunch of Tweedledees and Tweedledums and tweed jackets.
What's the difference?
You're lovely. You know that.
Well, thank you.
I mean, who else is coming to this shindig?
Well, the new lady who just breezed into town said that she would attend. I think Vri is coming. And then I believe that Phoebe is scaring up the rest of the guests.
That doesn't sound like much of a party.
I know that she said that Tommy would probably attend.
Is Calvin coming?
I haven't asked him, but I could. He is a star athlete after all. I'm sure everyone would love to see him there.
Yeah. If Calvin is coming, I'm coming.
As a matter of fact, I think he's right over there. I'll just go ask him, then I'll come back.
And I'm going to bring my friends.
Lovely. She just disappears in a little glitter haze and breezes across the room to wherever Calvin is sitting. I'm assuming with a bunch of other popular boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what his reaction is as I come swinging up like a spring breeze.
Oh, hi there, Wendy.
Hi, Calvin. Hi, everyone.
Grunts. They're the offensive line on the football team. They just basically grunt.
My goodness. Calvin, dear, are you occupied this evening?
No. I mean, I hadn't made any plans yet.
So if you're interested, Phoebe Greenwood and I are having a tiny little get-together.
A Phoebe Greenwood party?
Yes.
I see.
Whatever that means.
Is Tommy catering the party?
I think he's coming.
Are
you asking if there will be illicit substances?
He's met you, so he goes, no.
You're allowed to tell me. I have it on Phoebe's honor that this will be the last party that she throws for the approval of others. So there will be some substances tonight, but in future, there will be less substances. Hopefully none.
What an interesting idea. You're asking me to come?
Yes.
You want me to come with you?
Sure.
I mean, I know it ain't exactly Sadie Hawkins Day yet, Wendy. But I'll come if you want.
Oh, you mean to step out together?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not going steady with anybody. You're not going steady with anybody. Are you going steady with anybody?
No.
Okay, well.
Are you asking if I want to go with you?
I thought you were asking if I was going with you.
It's not Sadie Hawkins Day, Calvin.
How does your positronic brain respond? It's like, sure, fine. I'll come and pick you up. Where is this thing going to be?
It's going to be in the auditorium.
Oh, of course. All right, sure. Because, definitely the thing I wanted to do on my Friday was go back to school. But all right, sure.
But it will be back to school with, me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just go then. Bye. Just
You are basically an anime character at this point.
Yeah, she totally is.
So, where should we go from here? What do we need to do before we wrap up for the evening?
I kind of want to see what happens when I attend this dinner party.
Okay.
Oh, I do need to make an illicit phone call on our telephone, though, and tell Tommy to bring, everyone and anyone that we can, because there's going to be a big and impressive person coming.
Tommy, could you bring some newspapers? A lot of newspapers. A couple cases of newspapers. Okay, so I take it you dress your best.
Yes, I've
What your
worn
mom thinks is your best.
I've worn the flashiest thing that my mother approves of,
Ooh.
which is also probably at least, it's probably something that was in fashion like 10 years ago.
I mean, it might show ankle.
I know, scandalous.
Scandalous.
The long gloves.
All right, so I think do they? Yeah, no, he knows this well enough. Yeah, so the professor and Finn arrive where the professor's wearing evening clothes. Finn is not. He's wearing a good suit. He feels kind of. You can tell he looks out of place. He's like, "Hi, I'm Finn Dabney. This is my uncle, Professor Hughes Dabney. Uh, we're here for a dinner party."
Of course, Professor Dabney, Mr. Dabney. If you'll come right this way, mother and father are waiting in the sitting room.
Okay, so it's one of those scenes where as soon as he walks in, your father comes up and claps the professor on the back. He's like, "Hughes, come with me. Let's go get let's go have a drink." And they wander off into the drawing room, leaving Finn behind, looking more uncomfortable.
And I think that has my mother like otherwise entertained herself, and I can maybe drop the charade a little bit.
Do you have a string on your mother?
No.
Your mother is in the room for a long time, but eventually she gets up to go yell at the cook. She doesn't need to. It's just her ritual.
Sounds like Mumsy. I think that the second she walks out of the door, you just see like Phoebe kind of like, oh, thank goodness. And then probably like down the single cocktail that she's been allowed.
Well, your mother's a formidable woman.
If that's your kind way of saying that she's an absolute monster, then yes, I concur.
She did seem a little bit of an old battle axe, yeah.
You have no idea. It's unbearable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of hard living here and being the headmaster's daughter. I guess that's probably hard.
Oh, you don't know the half of it. My family has so many expectations of me. Get into Miskatonic University. Hold the family name.
I go to Miskatonic.
Oh, you do.
Yeah, I'm a
don't take
sophomore at Miskatonic, yeah.
don't take this the wrong way, but I always assumed that the shirts were a bit more stuffed at Miskatonic, and you seem delightfully down to earth.
Well, ever since we went co-ed, it's loosened things up a little.
Well, I must say, I was rather dreading it. I know that I shall admit that I am not quite the academic my father wishes me to be, but perhaps if there was good company like yourself to while away the time, maybe higher education would be more worthwhile.
Did your father go to Miskatonic?
Indeed, as did his father and his father before him.
Then you're gonna get in. You're a legacy. That's how I got in. You know, I'm an orphan, but my uncle took care of me, and he's the reason I got into MU. It's not like I really did too much studying in high school. I was just too busy, boxing, fencing, horse riding. It was a very athletic school.
That is quite the accomplishment. Do you continue to study gamesmanship in your higher education?
Well, I try and keep it up. I mean, I don't box as much as I like, but sometimes when you're in a rough part of New York or something, you have to use your fisticuffs a little bit. Lately, I've been getting more into precision shooting. It's kind of hard. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do.
A man of many talents, and so kind to accompany your uncle on this journey to our quiet little burg.
Oh, Uncle's always trying to run off and look at places around New England. He's a real antiquer kind of guy, I guess. Also, yeah, he agreed to do this lecture because There was a student of yours. He died when he was a freshman at Miskatonic, and he was one of the professor's students, and I don't know. I think he feels bad about poor Phil dying. So
I would love to take this moment to gaze into the abyss, because this is definitely something that would trigger my, oh shit, the family. Like, we need to be careful here.
what does that look like?
Oh gosh. Okay. I love the I know you joked about it with Fortune Greenwood screaming from the forest, but I would love it if it's the kind of thing where I just kind of feel a presence sitting next to me and a feminine form leans in and whispers something in my ear.
I invite you to roll. What's the question you're asking?
My question is, what is what is this person or the professor really trying to find out? And what is, like, what am I not being told? Like, I'm being told a lot, but I'm pretty sure that there's like two and two to put together that's been not being said.
Okay.
So this is going to go terribly because I have a dark of -1. Oh, okay. Well, I got a 7 actually.
So the visions are terrifying, huh?
You want something higher than a 7? Because I can do I believe in you.
What? What is this? If someone rolls less
Oh,
than
that's
10, you sense it. Two people whispering in my ear at the same time?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah. No, I actually want to see. I want, like, it's like an angel and a demon on my shoulders. Like,
Great. I think I just have +1 integrity because I did refuse to go to like endorse a drinking party and got you to commit to. So I roll an 8.
I see.
Your roll changes from a 7 to 9 to a 10.
feel free to have, the spirits of the ancestors whisper terrible things to me anyway, but I can just power through it.
Right. So
A cat puts its tail in your mouth.
that's a furry tentacle. So you hear Fortune's voice whispering in your ear, and you're getting all these images. You see Philip and Finn and the professor. They're like in a library looking over old books, and then the professor's got like a map, and he's in a like an old blueprint, and he's showing he's like pointing at it, and they're all nodding. And then you see the three of them going into this old house with like miners' helmets and flashlights, and Finn's got a gun. And the next image you get is you see the professor and Finn running in sheer terror from the house. And then there's finally a scene where you see Finn has gone back in the house in daylight, and he's just cradling poor Phil's broken body. But he looks up like he's got this look of determination that he's going to figure out what these things mean. I believe you people were correct in your assumptions about what's going on here.
That's it. I think at that point, I reach out a hand and put it on top of his hand, which I think is probably resting in his lap, and I say, "Oh, did you know him too?"
I mean, yeah, I knew Phil. I was the RA in our house, and I got to know you get to know the freshmen when you're teaching them. It's like a mentorship thing, and he was a good friend. He's a very brave guy.
I give his hand a little squeeze and I say, "His loss was deeply felt here too. After all, Kingsport knows our own, and we miss him dearly." I'm also willing to turn him on.
I figured as much.
That is barely a 7.
You can have a string. So right about this point, your father and Hughes come walking back in, holding, they've clearly smoked a cigars or a pipe while they were away, and you sit down to dinner, and the professor is very chatty because your dad has good booze, and I think at some point he just looks at you, he's like, and you, Miss Greenwood, you're a student at the academy, of course.
Yes, I've attended there every year that I've attended there ever since I grew up into the high school.
I do hope that perhaps you'll come to Miskatonic. I know some of the older stuffier professors there. They opposed going co-ed, and I'm not going to make any claims of being any great suffragist or anything, but my maiden aunt was, and she was a good woman, and her arguments were sound. I think that the school has been vastly improved by bringing the girls on board. I would love to have you in one of my classes, if you're of a philological bent, of course.
Well, I won't pretend to be an expert on such things, but I will confess that would be so happy to attend the same school that my father did. He spoke so highly of it, and it's always been a little bit of a fantasy that was finally made real when they started to admit women.
Well, Philip was one of my best students back when I was just a tyro professor. So, I met the most interesting student at your school. He says it kind of basically to you and your dad both. He had he had a Bosnian name, but he did not seem like a Bosniak. It was very interesting.
Yes, that is my cousin Vrijeme. I look at my father, and like I say that probably more gracefully. It's like there's like a moment of hesitation. Like, yes, that's my cousin Vrijeme. He has joined us just recently, and insists on living alone. I'm really not sure why he won't come stay with us here at the house.
No, the most curious thing is the way he spoke Bosnian. It almost had accents of Old Church Slavonic, but that doesn't make sense. That kind of vocabulary wouldn't have been current for hundreds of years. Perhaps he came from some isolated region. I must speak with him some more. I think there's a fascinating paper that could be worked up from just one side. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm doing it again, Phil. I'm doing it again.
And Phoebe just like laughs coquettishly with her father. Yes, of course. Would now be a good time? I would love to play you something on the piano. I look at my mother like, yes.
She gives the curtest of nods. It's like,
and so like I go and I settle down and I take off my gloves and start playing a nocturne expertly, and as a way to like push away from this conversation.
Finn is staring at you the whole time. You can do with that whatever you want.
Oh, I will next time.
Okay, yeah.
But I feel like this is a good place to cut away.
Yeah. So yeah, what? Let's do one more scene. What shall it be?
Well, since getting booze would be pretty boring and researching the professor would be redundant, I'm thinking maybe Vrijeme goes to where the journal indicates Agnes does Agnes's work, which is, of course, Kingsport headed about the same time Agnes gets there.
Which is ahead of Chloe because you're counting on Chloe to show up on time. Get used to disappointment.
I haven't even met Chloe.
That's right. But just so Agnes knows, Chloe has not showed up yet. I'm assuming you also came early to set up whatever the fuck you're going to do, because I'm scared. I'm legit scared of what's going to happen next. So
it's nothing much has shown up. Only that well, she's got a table set up. She's got a bowl's full of water. I think when Vrijeme is run up, you can hear something plunging into the water. When you turn around, you see that Agnes has dunked her head into the water to like try to sober herself up. Nothing untoward is happening. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think Vrijeme just rests his hand on top of her head. He doesn't put any pressure on it, but it's probably creepy as fuck.
I think that'll like get her to like rise up and just what's it? Well, you didn't see anything. I was just prepared. What
Is
the fuck are
this
you
how
doing here?
you do your maths?
No, this is how I get over coffee and whiskey. What are you,
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
what are you, what are you, what are you doing here? Vrijeme, I'm very busy right now.
Why are you playing with now?
What the hell do you mean playing? Well, you must know I'm here to meet someone. And, well, frankly, that's not really any of your business, is
Playing
it?
with now is. I don't care who you meet.
I'm not playing with now, Vrijeme. I'm playing with where.
But where and now are functions of each other.
Are you the arbiter of nonsense mathematics? Why am I?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, when you start dealing with the 17th dimension and I start talking mathematics at you.
you're. I thought. I thought I felt eyes on me.
I pull out the book and your equations are wrong.
I think Agnes is going to reach for the book to take it. Is she able to?
I think so. Your equations are wrong.
Well, if they're so wrong, then how do I make it right? If you're just going to come here to lecture me, at least make sure I get things right.
I reach for the book because I can't show you because you've got the book.
All right, okay, yeah, she'll let you have it.
Here, it is not pi. It is the square root of I times pi over the square root of pi squared I.
Oh, hold on. There's no pens nearby. There's just like some chunks of charcoal on the table. So she'll just like take one and we'll just kind of like, all right, okay. Why are you helping me? What is this?
Because you should not be heading for now. You belong now, not now. Question. GM's call on this. I'm essentially trying to do my basic move, which is to put someone in their proper place, or in this case, time.
Oh, it says here, mark experience whenever you weed out someone on the wrong side of the divide and put them in their place.
Yeah, take your XP.
Okay. But yes, I am actually trying to explain multidimensional mathematics to you so that you don't accidentally blow up the universe.
Well, that's good to know. Can we talk about this some other time? I'm expecting to meet someone really important. Well, important is relative. Well, everything is relative. Can we talk?
If you're trying to show them the now, it won't be the right now.
I'm not trying to show them. I'm just gonna do a simple parlor trick. It'll be fine. It's not anything. It's nothing to do with what's in there. And she takes the book back. This is something really important. This, she points at the basin and the charcoal. This is for kicks.
Kicks?
Well, okay. Kicks is the wrong word. This is for show. This is a bit of a light show to spook.
Like the sine wave?
No, the sine wave is incredibly important. This isn't.
No, I mean like Wendy's sine wave, the shimmer.
I think Agnes is just think about like, because Chloe has that same thing, kind of has that thing that Wendy has. It's like that kind of personality. Hold on. Maybe not thought about that. You weren't there. You didn't meet her. She had this pull, this gravity, if you will.
Like Wendy?
Honestly, it's a lot like Wendy's. Anyway,
Can I
can you what?
meet her?
Everyone wants to meet her. Okay, provided things don't go somewhere or another, there's going to be a party tonight at the auditorium.
Phoebe's party, yes.
Yes. This woman's been invited there. So we're just gonna finish up here. Maybe you might show up, but she's sticking around a couple of days, so the whole town's gonna meet her at some point. It's one of those people.
So I should get the booze Phoebe wanted because she might show up now, and if she doesn't show up now, I can meet her now tomorrow.
That sounds about right. Now, do you want to disappoint Greenwood by not getting the booze?
No, but don't break now. At least make sure we do the math right.
It's going to be okay. I think she she pats you on the shoulder and gets like charcoal on your shoulder. It's going to
He
be
actually
okay.
looks up surprised because most people don't want to touch him.
Agnes is into weird shit. Anyway, but thanks for giving this back. This is kind of important.
Just let me check your equations next time.
We'll talk tomorrow.
Tomorrow now we'll talk and I'll fix the equations.
Yes, we will. Absolutely. No, just...
Okay.
Okay. Did you just staring at you, waiting for you to like leave?
I think it's one of those awkward, I back up a couple of steps, look at you, turn around, walk a couple of steps, look at you. So, yes, I'm leaving. It just seems to you to take forever.
I think we've put some dominoes in place, so maybe we'll knock them down next time. Does that sound about right?
I'm so into Vree's whole deal. I feel like I'm like watching Vree and waiting for Vree to say stuff that like Dr. Manhattan says in Watchmen. I don't experience time the way you do. I don't experience time the way you do. Let's just over and over again.
I hope you enjoyed my little setup. A long time ago when I was first sketching out some ideas, just kind of breaking story, like, do I have ideas? I'm like, okay, well, 1692 and World War II, and I'm like the 1920s, and a Call of Cthulhu party comes to town.
It's
living
so
for
good.
It killed me. I was just like, there was this point where I was like, she's a real flapper, and oh God, what? Oh no.
The party,
no.
You've got your muscle, your brains, your dilettante. Are we missing anyone?
We're the background characters.
And Finn is the audience identification character.
Binge the muscle.
Oh no, the other guy, the PI is the muscle.
Oh,
This is gonna go so well, you guys.
Yeah,
We're all gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, the PI's the one who. Okay.
See, PI is the one who threatened you, not Finn.
Oh, okay. You understand my confusion.
That's
all
all
these
right.
humans.
Yes, they all vibrate on the same temporal frequency. It's very annoying.
Wendy doesn't.
Aww.
Aww.
She truly does not know.
So, I hope you enjoyed that, because I did. Thank you, guys. It's always such a pleasure to play with you guys again. And in times like this, it's definitely something to help lift the anxiety and stress. So thank you all so very, very much. So we'll do this again next week. Until then, please be well, stay safe, and we'll try and get through this. So,
Sounds good.
all right, guys. Unfortunately, we are creatures trapped in the nightmare of history, and so we must go on.
I don't know.
Anyway, so hold on to that rage, and let's pour that into being monsters.